Economic collapse isn't what you see in the movies. There's no dramatic moment when everything changes overnight. Instead, it's slow. It creeps into your life like a poison. One Tuesday afternoon, you're standing in your kitchen at midnight, listening to your neighbor's generator sputter and die. Yours died yesterday. The pharmacy down the street has been closed for 3 weeks, and your child needs antibiotics. In that moment, your stock portfolio means nothing. Your cryptocurrency is worthless. What matters is whether you can solve the immediate problem keeping you alive for another day. Today, I'm going to reveal 11 items you can buy right now for less than the cost of a cup of coffee. But when society collapses, each one becomes worth more than gold. These aren't the obvious things like food and water. These are the overlooked essentials that multiply in value because they solve problems unique to a world where modern conveniences have vanished. And I have proof. In Venezuela, people traded family heirlooms for toilet paper. During the siege of Sarajevo in Bosnia, a single lighter was worth a month's food rations. These aren't ancient stories. This is happening right now in parts of the world. Welcome to Crisis Horizon, where we prepare smart, not scared. Everything I'm about to share comes from real collapse scenarios, not theories or guesswork. If you are ready to rethink what real value means when the system breaks down, hit that like button right now. And subscribe, because preparation beats panic every single time. Make sure you watch until the end, because the last item on this list solves more problems than any other, and most people have no idea how powerful it really is. Let's start with the first item that becomes instant survival currency: disposable lighters. Forget your fancy fire starters and waterproof matches. I'm talking about cheap plastic Bic lighters that cost less than a candy bar. When everything falls apart, fire becomes one of your most critical needs. You need it for warmth when the power grid fails. You need it for cooking when the gas lines stop working. You need it to boil water so you don't die from waterborne diseases. And you need it for the psychological comfort of knowing you can create heat and light in the darkness. Here's why disposable lighters are superior to almost every other fire-starting method. They're sealed units, completely impervious to humidity. You can use them when you're cold, tired, or scared, and they'll work instantly. No technique required, no friction, no struggle, just fire. A single Bic lighter can produce thousands of lights and will sit in storage for years without losing functionality. During the collapse of Yugoslavia, a single lighter could feed a family for an entire week. Think about that. Something you probably have 3 of rolling around in a drawer right now was worth 7 days of food. Here's what you need to do. Buy lighters in bulk. I'm talking dozens of them. Vacuum seal them with silica gel packets to preserve them even longer. Then distribute them everywhere. Your car, your backpack, your home, your bug-out bag. They're cheap now, but they become irreplaceable when the infrastructure crumbles. Next is needle and thread. When was the last time you actually sewed something? For most people, it's been years, maybe decades. But in a collapse scenario, the ability to repair your clothing and gear becomes absolutely critical. A torn winter jacket means exposure to the elements. A broken backpack strap means you lose mobility and can't carry your supplies. Needle and thread allow you to make permanent repairs, not just temporary patches with duct tape that fail after a few hours. But here's what most people don't realize. Needle and thread aren't just for fixing clothes. They're essential for emergency medicine. Basic wound closure using sterilized thread has saved countless lives in field conditions when professional medical care wasn't available. A small sewing kit weighs almost nothing, it never expires, and it can repair hundreds of items over the course of a crisis. Invest in a compact sewing kit and take the time to learn basic repair techniques. When society breaks down, permanent fixes beat temporary solutions every single time. The third item is zip ties. Now I know what you're thinking. Everyone talks about rope and paracord as survival essentials, and they're right, but zip ties are the secret weapon that most people overlook. They offer speed and security in a way that rope simply cannot match. You can create strong, permanent connections in seconds, even if your hands are cold or injured. Try tying the secure knot with numb fingers, and you'll understand why this matters. Zip ties can secure doors and windows when you need to fortify a location. They can bind materials together to build emergency shelters. They can organize your gear so you're not wasting precious time and energy searching for things. And in a crisis, organization isn't just convenient, it's the difference between safety and disaster. Zip ties are weather-resistant, incredibly strong for their size, and they solve countless problems quickly. Stock up on various sizes. They're cheap, they're lightweight, and when you need them, nothing else will do the job as fast. Number 4 is aluminum foil. Now, this might sound mundane, but aluminum foil is an absolute survival powerhouse. It multiplies your heating efficiency by reflecting warmth back toward your body or your shelter. You can use it to create solar ovens that let you cook food without using any fuel at all. It's completely waterproof, which means you can create vapor barriers to protect your supplies from moisture and rot. But the versatility doesn't stop there. Aluminum foil is a signaling tool. Its reflective surface is visible from miles away. You can use it as a sound amplifier or even fashion it into fishing lures.
Medically, it has antibacterial properties and can be used to treat hypothermia or protect burns from infection. Keep several rolls of aluminum foil in your supplies. Its versatility and efficiency make it invaluable when resources become scarce and you need items that can serve multiple critical functions. Now we move into the medical and mechanical essentials that most people completely overlook. When medical infrastructure collapses, infection becomes the #1 killer. Not violence, not starvation, infection. A simple cut that gets dirty can kill you when there are no hospitals and no antibiotics. This is why hydrogen peroxide is absolutely essential. It's a broad-spectrum disinfectant that's safe for human use and effective against bacteria, viruses, fungus, and spores. Hydrogen peroxide isn't just for wound care, though that alone makes it invaluable. You can use it for water purification. 2 tablespoons per gallon, let it sit for 30 minutes, and you've killed the pathogens that would otherwise destroy your digestive system. It ensures food safety by cleaning surfaces and tools without leaving toxic residue. When commercial cleaners are gone and the supply chains have stopped, hydrogen peroxide becomes your primary defense against the diseases that thrive in unsanitary conditions. Store it in small, sealed brown bottles in a cool, dark place. The brown bottles protect it from light degradation. Rotate your stock every 2 years to maintain potency. This is one of those items where spending a few dollars now could literally be the difference between life and death later. The 6th item is sewing machine oil. Mechanical failures are often the first domino that starts a cascade of bigger problems. Every tool you own, every piece of equipment, every weapon, anything with moving parts needs lubrication to function. Without it, metal grinds against metal, parts seize up, and suddenly your essential tools become useless hunks of dead weight. Sewing machine oil is specifically designed for precision equipment. It's lightweight, long-lasting, and critically, it doesn't gum up or attract dirt the way heavier oils do. You can use it to maintain knives, firearms, hand tools, and locks. In emergency relief scenarios around the world, oil became a high-value barter item because people with mechanical knowledge immediately recognized its worth. Distribute small dropper bottles of sewing machine oil throughout your kits. It never goes bad if it's sealed properly, and when someone's firearm jams or their tools stop working, they'll trade almost anything to get it functioning again. Number 7 is safety pins. These look like simple, insignificant items, but they're actually micro tools with endless applications. Safety pins can serve as fishing hooks, trap triggers, improvised lockpicks, electrical connectors, and even surgical instruments in desperate situations. They're made of spring steel, which means they're incredibly strong and maintain their shape under stress. In emergency medicine, you can sterilize safety pins to remove splinters, drain infections, or secure bandages when you've run out of proper medical tape. For gear repair, they're essential for breaking zippers, torn straps, and damaged fasteners. Buy safety pins in bulk and get various sizes. They're completely reusable, they're versatile beyond measure, and they solve countless problems that would otherwise stop you in your tracks. The 8th item is chapstick and lip balm. You might think this is about comfort, but it's about survival. When you're exposed to wind, sun, and cold, your lips crack and bleed. Those cracks become pathways for infection, and in a world without medical care, a simple infection can spiral into something deadly. Chapstick maintains the integrity of this vulnerable area of your body. But the uses go far beyond preventing chapped lips. Chapstick is an excellent fire starter because of its petroleum base. It waterproofs matches. It protects metal tools from rust. It lubricates stuck zippers and mechanisms. It can even stop bleeding from small cuts and provide emergency calories if you're desperate enough. When applied to your feet before a long march, it prevents blisters, which is absolutely critical for maintaining mobility when you can't just sit still and heal. Stock up on chapstick. The psychological value for morale is enormous, and the practical applications are numerous enough that you'll find yourself reaching for it constantly. Now we get to the everyday items that become absolute powerhouses when society unravels. Dental floss. Most people think of it as a hygiene tool, and it is, but it's so much more. Dental floss is incredibly strong cordage. Unwaxed floss has a tensile strength of 6 to 8 pounds. Waxed floss can handle up to 12 pounds. It resists moisture and bacteria, which makes it ideal for situations where regular rope or string would rot or fail. You can use dental floss for emergency sutures when you need to close a wound. It works as fishing line. It can be fashioned into snare wire for trapping small game. You can use it as tripwire for perimeter security, for gear repair when you need something stronger than thread, and even as bootlaces when yours break. The container itself is waterproof, which makes it perfect for storing small survival items like needles or fire-starting materials. Carry dental floss in every kit you have. Its strength to size ratio and versatility make it absolutely indispensable. Number 10 is white vinegar. Vinegar is a natural disinfectant that kills most bacteria, many viruses, and all mold. In a world without commercial cleaners, vinegar becomes your primary defense against the spread of disease. You can clean surfaces, tools, and equipment without worrying about toxic residue contaminating your food or water. Vinegar preserves food through pickling, which extends your supplies when refrigeration is no longer available.
Medically, it treats fungal infections, soothes insect bites, helps reduce fever, and can even help regulate blood sugar in emergencies. Beyond health applications, vinegar neutralizes chemical irritants, removes rust from tools, unclogs drains, and can even serve as a battery electrolyte in desperate circumstances. Store vinegar by the gallon. It's shelf-stable for years, it's incredibly cheap right now, and it becomes more valuable as other supplies run out and people realize they have no way to keep things clean. And finally, the ultimate multi-purpose item that solves more problems than anything else on this list, baking soda. This simple white powder is essential for hygiene. It cleans teeth, neutralizes odor, and prevents dental infections when regular toothpaste is gone. Dental problems might sound minor, but an infected tooth can kill you when there's no dentist and no antibiotics. Baking soda treats heartburn and acid reflux. It alkalizes the body during illness. It soothes burns and rashes. It irrigates wounds and helps prevent infection. From a chemical standpoint, it neutralizes both acids and bases, which makes it life-saving for chemical burns or exposures. For cleaning, baking soda is non-abrasive but effective. It deodorizes without perfumes. It disinfects surfaces. It can even extinguish grease fires, which are incredibly dangerous and common when people start cooking with improvised equipment. In food preparation, baking soda tenderizes meat, neutralizes acidic foods that would otherwise upset your stomach, and helps beans cook faster, saving precious fuel. Store baking soda in airtight bags or containers. It lasts indefinitely when stored properly and solves dozens of critical problems across hygiene, medicine, cleaning, and cooking. Here's the truth about collapse that nobody wants to hear. When society's safety net disappears, these simple products become the real currency of survival. Not gold bars, not cryptocurrency, not even weapons. The practical items that solve immediate life or death problems. The truth is that survival isn't about having the most expensive gear or the biggest stockpile. It's about understanding what actually keeps people alive when complex systems fail. That lighter that costs less than a candy bar today could be worth a week's food when nobody else can make fire. A bottle of hydrogen peroxide could prevent the infection that kills more people in disasters than violence ever does. Think about that. These items are so cheap right now that you probably don't even think about them, but their value transforms completely when the world changes. Don't try to buy everything at once. That's not how preparation works. Start with 3 items from this list that make the most sense for your situation. Buy a small quantity. Learn how to use them for multiple applications. Then expand from there. Small, consistent steps beat dramatic gestures every single time. Preparation isn't about living in fear. It's about living without fear because you're ready. When you have solutions to the problems that stop everyone else, you sleep better at night, you stress less about what might happen because you know you can handle it. Here's your action plan. Choose 3 items from this list right now. Start there. Buy them in small quantities and distribute them across your home, your vehicle, and your gear. Learn how to use each item for multiple purposes. Then expand your stockpile gradually, always focusing on versatility and efficiency. The world is becoming more uncertain. Supply chains are fragile, infrastructure is aging, economic systems are showing cracks everywhere. Having these simple items isn't paranoid, it's prudent. It's the same reason you have insurance or a spare tire. You hope you never need them, but if you do, you'll be incredibly glad they're there. The biggest lesson from years of studying real-world collapse scenarios is this: knowledge and preparation beat panic and desperation every single time. The people who survive and thrive aren't the ones with the most money or the biggest guns. They're the ones who saw it coming and quietly prepared with practical, multi-purpose items that solve real problems. Every item on this list costs less than a fancy coffee. You could stockpile all 11 for less than most people spend on a single night out.
But when systems fail, these items become priceless, not because they're rare, but because they solve the actual problems that emerge when modern life stops working. You don't need a fortune to prepare. You don't need a bunker. You don't need expert survival skills. Real preparation is accessible to everyone. Think ahead, stock up on the right items, and know how to use them. When everyone else is scrambling for solutions, you'll already have them. That's not just survival, that's thriving when others are barely hanging on. Thank you for watching until the end. If this video changed how you think about value and preparation, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to Crisis Horizon so you stay prepared with practical knowledge that actually matters. And remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Stay prepared, stay practical, and remember, when everyone else is scrambling for solutions, you'll already have them.